Jason Kelce admits there's a little bit of turmoil inside Philadelphia as the team is on edge despite their 2-0 start. The Eagles offense is statistically struggling mightily to move the football. Will they go back to running back by committee or focus in on DeAndre Swift? And Sidney Brown, did we all know that he used to play nickel cornerback in college? I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. What's up, guys? Thomas Mott here. Welcome to the Thomas Mott Show on a Wednesday. Jason Kelce was on 94.1 WIP and answering all the questions you've been dying to hear, especially this one.
His business,
Sure.
and stay out of that world. But having said that, man, I think they're doing great, and I think it's all 100% true, and I hope that this soon goes a mile. No, I'm joking.
Okay, I'm kidding. Maybe you don't actually care about the whole Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, are they dating, are they not? But I guess it is confirmed. What I care about is his response to asking, are the Eagles a little bit on edge, a little bit worried about starting 2-0? Listen to this.
Well, we're 2-0, which is good. But we're 2-0, and we know that we could very easily be 1-1, and we have not played football the way we want to play football yet. So the temperature of the team is a little bit on edge, and I think everybody, feels that we need to play better, and if we want to live up to the expectations that we think that we are capable of playing like, we need to make improvements, and we need to perform better. And I think that that's the temperature that I feel. And I think that's a good temperature. I think that's where you want to be in this league. I've been on record before saying, you don't want to be comfortable. When you're comfortable, there's a shoe waiting to drop in this league. And, I think that we all understand that we have great talent on this roster. We have great coaches. We have a great organization. And, we're sitting here 2-0, but I think everybody is very cognizant of the fact that we need to continue to improve and work.
Temperature's on edge. And for a 2-0 football team, a lot of people are saying, are they actually as good as their current record? Are they worse? Are they going to get better? These are all questions that are going to be answered over the next couple of weeks as Philadelphia continues to burn off a little bit of rust and try and figure out their overall offensive identity. Now, it's no secret their offense has struggled, especially mightily, over the first couple of weeks. They are one of a couple of teams with 12 or more 3-and-outs this season, to go along with the Jaguars, the Colts, the Bengals, and the Steelers. All 5 of those teams not been great so far offensively. However, Philadelphia, unlike the Jaguars, Colts, Bengals, and Steelers, are actually 2-0, while I think the fact that Philadelphia has found ways to win. They've been a lot better defensively in the second half, and have gotten some key contributions from players like DeAndre Swift and also Devontae Smith. I think it's nice that Kelce at least emphasizes that they clearly don't believe they're a perfect football team yet. They still have a long way to go, and while they have won in certain areas, you go back to the Viking game and hitting a couple of deep balls, having some success running the football, they still have a long way to go to become that complete team that fires on all cylinders like the one you saw, especially in the latter half of the 2022 season. Now, while the offense might be struggling and has a chance to get back on track on Monday night, the defense has definitely been picking up the slack, especially later on in these football games. Philadelphia, for what it's worth, has been the best run defense through the first 2 weeks. They're averaging 52.0 rushing yards per game, and that's large part due to maybe Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, a combination of the front that Philadelphia has. But while the offense struggles to move the football vertically through the air at times, their defense is stopping the run, forcing these teams to pass. And while they've had some success passing the football against the Eagles, the fact that you cannot run against them early makes it difficult to establish and build consistent leads on Philadelphia. Speaking of that defensive front, Jalen Carter, we know he has the best odds to win Rookie of the Year as it currently stands, but do you understand how great he's actually been? Look at the statistical numbers of Jalen Carter through the first 2 weeks of his NFL career. He has more pressures than Nick Bosa, Myles Garrett, and Aaron Donald. He has more quarterback hurries than Quinnen Williams, Mike Parsons, and TJ Watt. He has a higher pass rush win rate than Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, and Kenny Clark. And Dick Vermeil even said that he reminds him of one Reggie White. And it feels like Philadelphia, we keep repeating and saying over and over again, did get the steal of the draft at number 9 overall and might have a future superstar at defensive tackle. He's been a massive, massive bright spot for Philadelphia. Big thumbs up for that. Now, the issues defensively have continued to circle around the fact that they can't seem to find a viable cornerback, at least in the slot position. James Bradbury's talked about wanting to move in there, or at least is open to the idea of playing a little bit of slot. Does that mean that Eli Ricks plays more outside? Is it Josh Jobe? What are the safeties look like when Reed Blankenship comes back? These are all questions that have yet to be answered. However, I found a very interesting statistic showcasing that Sidney Brown, he's played a lot of slot and could at least be an option to get on the field, maybe even in dime packages more than he has been for the first 2 weeks. He played, 177 snaps in 2022 at Illinois, and was tied for 8th in the national college football, in college football, and forced incompletions. Could he make some sense there at the slot spot? It might actually be an idea. Now, do you want to cross-train him at nickel and then not let him play a little bit of safety? Do you want to get him on the football field at any cost possible because he has looked at least good in a very limited amount of snaps in both the preseason and the regular season? I'm not sure. Sean Desai's going to have to go ahead and figure this one out. But for all of us wondering when Philadelphia is going to go ahead and make a move, they obviously worked out a cornerback yesterday. It feels like the Eagles are content with what they have internally. They just have to figure out the right combination, right? How often do you move Bradbury to the slot? Is Job his for sure replacement on the outside? Can you mix Ricks in on dime packages? Can Sidney Brown play a little bit of safety in coverage situations? Can he be mixed in dime packages? These are all things that I think Desai is going to try to, get his big cauldron and mix together the potions inside to make sure he finds the right combination. Now, whether that combination turns out to be successful is a whole different story, but at least as we continue to talk about, they have some good opportunities to showcase what he wants to do over the next couple of weeks as they prepare for, a tough game on Monday night, but a winnable game on Monday night, a tough game against the Washington Commanders, but a winnable game against the Commanders. They have opportunities to get this thing figured out and make this defense even better on the backside to go ahead and complement how good they've been up front. Speaking of complement each other, Philadelphia has a decision to make this Monday night, and that is in terms of the running back carries. And Nick Sirianni was obviously asked about this at the podium. He kind of emphasized that they're going to continue to stay and then, running back by committee mind. But do you actually give DeAndre Swift less carries just to kind of mix Kenny Gainwell back in after a record-setting performance by Swift in week 1? But do you actually take carries away from DeAndre Swift and give them back to Kenny Gainwell just because Gainwell's healthy, even though DeAndre Swift just had 178 rushing yards in week 2? Well, Eagles insider Dave Spadaro, friend of the show, he was asked about this question and kind of gave the answer we've all not really been wanting, but we're expecting. Eagles insider Dave Spadaro says the Eagles are still running back by committee with a see who's hot mindset. No definitive RB1. Asked about upcoming carries, not predictable. Split. See who's hot. See what kind of matchup it is. Interested to see how much Penny gets involved. Good to have Gainwell and Swift each with good games. Really like the ways it's shaping up. Boston will be involved as well. I want to say I think the idea to rotate everyone, keep them all fresh and healthy, look at this thing game by game. Swift isn't going to vanish from the rotation. Kenny is a very fine back as well. It's a positive situation at running back, end quote. And while I tend to agree with this, I think Philadelphia has to make sure they don't get too running back heavy in terms of that hot hand. Now, when you see somebody having a monster game like DeAndre Swift did, keep running him by all means. But don't start a game off heavy with Kenny Gainwell, waiting for him to have a breakout till you get to the third quarter and then go, oh, now let's go ahead and try DeAndre Swift if Gainwell isn't working out. And vice versa. If Swift doesn't work out for the first couple of drives, let's mix some Gainwell moves in there and figure out who is going to be that hot hand. That way you don't stay a little bit stale by trying to force somebody to get hot by running them one too many times. The Eagles are going to be a great rushing football team this year. There's no doubt about it. They have 4 running backs who can all be big-time contributors on any given day. But I do think narrowing it down to 2 running backs and maybe going heavier with Swift and sort of a 60-40 split with Gainwell, at least after what we saw in week 2, makes the most sense right now. So Philadelphia has some tough decisions to make, but I think at running back, they're sitting very, very strong. Side note here in the punter situation, we've thankfully gotten away from the whole Aaron Sipos drama, and Braden Mann is officially your guy now. Eagles insider, that is Dave Spadaro, was asked about him holding because everyone was saying, oh, Jake Elliott likes Aaron Sipos holding. No one else can do it. It'll mess up Jake Elliott's kicking. Well, according to Eagles insider, during one of the tryouts that they did with Braden Mann, he did a great job, end quote, in holding and shouldn't have any issues holding the football and all the field goal situations for Jake Elliott. The Bucs did, at least according to Jordan Schultz, make a phone call to the LA Rams about trading for Cam Akers, along with the Ravens, the Raiders, and the Browns, although the Browns have now signed Kareem Hunt to go ahead and replace Nick Chubb, and so it seems like there's no real chance for Cam Akers to be a Cleveland Brown. If he were to be a Buck, that would be an interesting, at least, breakdown in terms of what could happen on Monday night, but even if he was traded today, let's say right after this video was posted on YouTube, he doesn't have a lot of time to kind of build into the system, so he might not factor into actually playing against Philadelphia or being successful against the Eagles, but he could be another weapon added to an undefeated Bucs team who, listen, if they beat Philadelphia, might be taken seriously because they're in a very, very weak division, and whoever wins that one is going to host a playoff game and has a very easy path to at least be a top 3 seed in the NFC. As always, we have plenty more stuff happening over the next couple of days and weeks, including tonight, our Wednesday Link Live, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Myself, Josh Davis, the Philly Special Show. We hang out for about an hour, answer all the questions, talk about all the topics, and do some giveaways as well. If you've not joined us for a Wednesday Link Live, highly encourage you to at least check it out. It's so much more fun live than watching the replay. I know time zones are all weird, but it's a ton of fun to go ahead and hang out. We'd love to see you guys there tonight. All time for today on this edition of the Thomas Mott Show. I'm Thomas Mott, signing off. See you guys in the next one.